My sisters and I grew up in a funeral home. We've had paranormal experiences all our lives. Many of the spirits we encounter are souls who've lost their way. My sisters and I are dedicated to helping them cross over and get home, but we can't always do it alone. When we need help, we call the Fixer. The Fixer is our go-between. He summons Cross, our spirit guide and protector. We're the Ghost Girls, and people are dying to meet us. One I remember the best would be, it was upstairs in the kitchen of the funeral home on the second level. I walked in to make prayer cards and to laminate them and everything for a funeral coming up. And I walked into the kitchen and there was a black shadow figure. It was like a black mass, it was really dark, and it was at the stove banging on the pots and pans and blowing things off the table. It scared the crap out of me. Like, I would not go up there alone for at least a month.
The first one I remember was more like I had a dog named Magic, and she was in the funeral home like all the time. We would walk around and I would play with her, we'd just run around, and then she would just stop and she would start barking at a wall, and I'd be like, what's going on? And then you'd see like a shadow somewhere in the corner and you'd hear something and you'd stop and just be like, it's really cold in here now, like what's going on? And then she'd run into a different room and start barking at another wall or corner or whatever, and you'd just be like, okay, so someone's here. And sometimes she'd run away and you'd be like, ooh, someone here, someone doesn't like dogs, something's going on.
Like, we would hear these footsteps, then we'd run up the ramp and there'd be nobody there. We would check like the bathrooms, there'd be loud banging noises. We'd go in the bathrooms, nobody there, we checked around.
I think I've always been somewhat used to it, just growing up with it. A couple things did freak me out, like the kitchen ghost, but for the most part, it's pretty normal. Things follow me around a lot. Or I was actually at work today, and I had my little 1-year-old. She was sitting on the floor, and she's trying to walk and everything, and she was playing with her toys, and I looked over, and the closet door opened. And she heard the creak and looked over and crawled right into the closet, and the door shut and there was nobody there. And I was panicking, thinking, oh my God, please don't lock the baby in the closet. Like, how am I going to explain that?
I was getting changed and I took my necklace came off and I lost it in my room, and my mom was helping me find it, and she said, hey little guy, can you help us find the necklace? Put it in one of our rooms. And a couple minutes later she walked into her room and it was on the floor. I did not go in that room. I lost it in my room. It was in her room.
My first paranormal experience was when I was 5 years old. I lived in a 2-floor house with my family, and every night these 2 boys dressed in hockey clothing would come out and stand in front of the door, so I couldn't walk out or leave. And that was the first time I had ever dealt with anything like that.
Like, looking around, like, what's going on? And I knew my boss wasn't home, and I was like, okay, whatever. And all of a sudden, like, the baby woke up and was just staring, like, straight, you know, and she's just, like, looking at something, and I'm looking around, and I got this eerie chill, and I was like, what's going on? And then I heard my name again, and I was looking around, and then I could hear whispers, and I couldn't quite tell what it was, and I texted Mom, and I was like, look, this is going on, you know, it's affecting the baby, like, I don't like this, what do I do? And like, I've heard people call my name or whispers, or I've heard get out before, but I didn't get that sense of urgency, so.
I went to New York like last year with my friend, and we were near her grandparents' house, and we went for a walk at night, and there's like a cemetery down the street, and it's like one of those really, really old ones where there's like gravestones you can't even read anymore because it's just so deteriorated and messed up. So we would just be like walking through, and we were with her cousin, and we were walking around, and there'd just be shadows like above the graves, and she's terrified of ghosts. Like, if I even mention like, oh, I'm going to the funeral home, it's cold here, like something's going on, just to mess with her, she would just like freak out, start crying, she gets so upset. So when we were walking through, I was like, hey Danny, I think there's a think there's a ghost over there. And she laid on the ground and started crying. And I was kidding at that point, like I was just messing with her. Then I turned around and there was like this actual like just light shadow above one of the gravestones. And I was like, wait, I was kidding before, but now there really is one over there. And then it would just move around. Anywhere we went, it would just like follow us. And I was like, okay, we're making friends. It's good. And she got scared, so we had to leave.
Yeah, I've heard Get Out. It didn't really faze me. I was just like, okay, you can leave.
Well, I like making people happy. So I went to talk to the spirits and make them know that it's okay, that they can move on, so that their families can get closer.
Just to help people find peace and cross over. Something was touching my leg again. And then we left. And there was a cow.
And we also heard a cow.
We did hear a cow, I swear.
Brittany was talking about that. It just happened randomly.
There was a cow, okay? I don't know.
Because we all turned and were like, was that a cow? It's not like, oh, I heard a cow. Did you?
We were just focusing on looking for the spirits. And all of a sudden there was this cow. I was like, did you guys hear a cow? And they were like, yeah. I thought I was the only one.
I think we have like a thing for barnyard animals. I'm not sure.